Well, good morning, everybody. It is Monday, and I'm going to get my camera set up here just a little bit. Hopefully, you are all joining us after a great weekend. Weather here in Minnesota held out good, and we're ready for another week. Today is the 14th of January, 2019. This is the 19th episode of your Monday morning meeting. So, a little bit of a history here. We got all this stuff started off on a phone call. Joe Johnson of Tucker Power Sports and I of Wild Ass, just trying to come up with a way to make everybody a little bit better at everything we do. So we got some random things going on. This is the second week of my lessons learned at the racetrack, and we'll get Joe on board, and then we'll start chatting. Usually about a half an hour is what we're doing here on a. Everybody can log in, hopefully get a little bit of motivation out of our show, and then head off into your week with a full tank of gas, ready to kick everybody's ass. So get Joe added here. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, now I have to adjust. There we go. All lit up. Lit up. Look at you. Yeah, we'll just do that. How's that?
There we go.
All right. Every week, 19 weeks, you think we'd have this figured out. Joel Mitchell just commented 19 weeks and time flies when you're having fun. And that's for sure. I can't believe it's been 19 times already.
Cheers. It's my lucky number.
Nice. So Joel, thanks for watching. I see we got Don watching down in Florida. You know Don Riker.
Yep.
So good morning, Don. So look at that. We are like a big triangle all the way around the country, right? Florida to Minnesota and back down to Phoenix.
Awesome.
So very cool. So good morning, Joe. We chatted a little bit this morning on the phone. You were up and at 'em bright and early. I like
that. I try. Some days are harder than others, but that's what discipline is, right?
That's right. Get up and get after it.
That's right.
So let's right off the bat, we're going to clear up a little bit of a rumor. You had sent me a message. When was that? Thursday, maybe? Wednesday, Thursday. Anyway, sometime last week, asking about me coming to the Tucker show. Let me just look directly in the camera and saying there's no way in hell that I'm going to miss that.
That's right. Squash those rumors right now.
We look forward to that show the day after the previous show. I mean, literally when we leave, we're like, oh man, I can't wait till next year. So
and we appreciate you coming to that show and training us. That's a huge deal for that. So
yeah, this year I am actually going to be in on your training again. Last year, I imagine you guys get quite a few requests for people wanting your time. So this year we're there again. So last year they said, nope, you were here last year training, so you got to take a year off and then get back to it next year. So that's what we're doing. We'll be there this year. We'll do the training. We'll show you. We got some new stuff to go over, not necessarily product-wise, but we made some pretty nice changes since that first year of the Tucker show. So
fantastic. Look forward to that, Craig.
Yeah. So let's squash that rumor right now. We are coming and we are very excited to be there. So
there you go.
Very cool. So your week, how'd it go?
Week was great. Supercross was awesome. Was with Kelly's Kawasaki in the booth right there. They did the giveaway. I still didn't get a chance. I started to watch it. I didn't see if they made national TV or not. But, we have a Super Bowl in almost every major city in the United States for our industry. And, we take full advantage of it. It's just nice to be a part of it with Kelly's and the crew. They asked me to come out there and help. Great team effort. It was a fantastic week. Love Supercross. It's what it's all about.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to see. I kind of forgot it was in Phoenix. It hasn't been my focus, right? Supercross like it used to be.
Right.
So you guys all heard last week how I sucked at that program, but it was kind of cool because I'm not only friends with Tucker people. Obviously, there's a bunch of other distributors out there. And my Facebook feed was lit up with Supercross stuff from last week. And I'm like, I should have went to Phoenix this weekend. Because the Supercross I'll get to go to will be Daytona, which I love. But, I always want to go to all of them.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's the bucket list.
yeah, looked like it was a good time. So how was attendance?
If you look at the Fan Fest where we were, from 12 to 5, it goes to 12 to 6, but 12 to 5:15, at 5:15 we had the drawing, and it was just steady. I've been in there where there's been huge lulls and there's big gaps. It was it was nice and thick. And what do we say at an event, Craig? If people are talking,
Yeah, they're spending money.
that's right.
Yep. So yeah, if you hear that the constant hum of conversation, and you can't really make out what anybody's saying, that's a good show, for sure. So looks like you froze up on us, Joe.
Yeah,
You're
I
well
saw
lit
that.
though.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on the thing there. We had a little bit of freeze. So I'm really excited to hear about your week and your next race lesson.
So my week was pretty good. A lot of stuff that I gonna choose not to share on here. I'm just gonna tell you my week was pretty epic.
All right.
We had a bit of a health scare in the family, and that's all I'm gonna say. That's all it was. It was a false alarm, a bullet
Thank God.
dodged, and another appreciation for life. So very
There you
cool.
go.
That I guess that's the highlight of the whole damn week. The rest of it doesn't matter.
That's
So
right.
yeah,
Priorities.
it was a really good week. Here at the shop, we're working on some really cool stuff. And I don't think I sent you. Did I send you a video? Well,
No.
after this, I got to send you something we got coming out for our Facebook ad. It's it's kind of funny. So
Teaser. Teaser.
teaser, teaser. Follow us on follow the Wild Ass page on Facebook for sure, because we're gonna start messing around a little bit on there. So that'll be a lot of fun. So you asked about my lesson learned at the racetrack. This is number 2. And I had a couple more come up this weekend. I was talking to a buddy of mine, a good friend of mine, and I'm like, that's a lesson that came from the racetrack too. So my number count is getting higher. And
Nice.
I am going through them, making sure they do not, I'm not repeating them. So,
Right.
but number 2, so last week we talked about how it doesn't really begin at the starting line, right? It all goes into the preparation. And for number 2, this one is really important, and it's for everybody to kind of pay attention to, no matter what you're doing. Amelia logged in. She used to work with me at Rojo, and we had a blast on the road together. So, and I'm not really sure what she's doing, something with jewelry, but even in the jewelry business, this lesson applies. So at the racetrack, it doesn't all begin at the starting line, right? So
Right.
it all goes into the preparation, getting ready to go, whatever. So for lesson number 2, it can all end in the first corner.
Right.
So if you let that sink in just a second, now we're on the 14th. So we're halfway through the first month. I look at every calendar year as a 12-lap race. Or 12, not 12 laps, 12 different races.
Okay.
Okay? So the year is the championship. Each month is the race. Each month has 4 or 5 laps.
Right.
Okay. So we're halfway through the first race. Okay. So, when you at the racetrack, when you take off and you leave the starting line, there's, up to 40 guys leaving the starting line, and you're going into a 6 to 10 man wide turn. Shit's going to get very real, very fast.
Right.
Right. And that's the same in life. It's the same when you go to school. It's the same when you start a jewelry business. It's the same as a rep. It's the same as a shop. So, and there's a bunch of different scenarios. I mean, you could get the whole shot where nobody touches you. You breeze through the first corner. That's the ideal situation, right? That's what you always practice for. But what happens if you get hit upon entry into that first turn? There's a lot happens in that first turn. When you get hit, you either adjust your balance to maintain upright, or if you're in a car, you steer into it. So you're continuing to keep the car going the right direction. When you get hit, you always say, you've always heard the phrase, when in doubt, gas it, right?
Right.
There is no more of a true statement than that. When you get into that first turn and somebody plows into the side of you, if you don't have the gyro of that rear wheel keeping you upright, you're going to have an issue. And, you know, one rule of thumb that I always kind of live by is, you know, pin it, right? If it, you know, it may not correct the situation, but it will end the suspense, right? So, so
I like
what,
that.
so
I
either
like
you're going
that.
to go down in a pile or you're going to come out of it all right. So,
Yes.
you know, so if you get hit upon entry, what do you do with that? Do you adjust your balance? Do you get back on the gas? Do you hit the brakes to avoid what's happening? You know, you have to make these quick decisions. And this is what you learn at the racetrack. You know, so even backing it up from that, what if you leave the starting line and you miss a gear? Okay. So now you've seen all of your other 39 guys are up to 39. I mean, it was sometimes 10, sometimes 15, sometimes 5, whatever it was. Immediately you have to assess your surroundings, because oftentimes you can miss a gear and come out of turn 1 with the lead. It's all in what decisions you can make right away to correct it. All that comes with experience as well. You know, I mean, it's not like you just always can pull this off. So you have to assess your surroundings. You got to adjust your speed if you miss that gear. Sometimes you have to hit the brakes. Sometimes you
Right.
just have to slow down and watch the show unfold in front of you. And then sometimes you can hit the gas and get right back in there.
Right.
So that's, you know, you can, it can all end in the first turn, and it's all what you got when you get there. You have to make those decisions. So, you know, that, you know, then the question becomes, what do you do after that corner? You know, or what happens, you know, if you go down in that first turn, that's just a crash. That's just an upset. I mean, doesn't necessarily mean the race is over. Now, sometimes it is. But, you know, are you going to get up as quick as you can, get back to your bike and go, or are you just going to lay there? You know,
Right.
that's something that you have to do, or assess another situation. Are you going to get back in the race, or are you going to walk off the track?
Right.
I mean, that's a decision. You got to make these decisions on the spot. And then at what pace are you going to try to get back in the race? You know, I've been down in the first turn, and you get up and your front end is twisted, and sometimes, you know what, you'll get to the second or third corner, find a post, beat that front wheel straight and take off again. It's
Right.
faster to stop, fix it, and go than it is to, you know, try to fight it for the rest of the 6, 7, 8 lap race. So
Good one.
the other thing, you know, sometimes, and the big lesson in this, this whole first turn analogy, is you have to come up with a plan on the spot. I mean, you don't have time to think. You have to assess the situation immediately, and determine what you're going to do next. And
Right.
then as fast, you have to figure out how you're going to do it, make that plan, and then you have to execute that plan. And all of this stuff happens within seconds. So that was my big lesson is, you know, it doesn't always start at the starting line. For week 2, it could all end at the finish line. So to bring that to a real life situation currently, I didn't work out this weekend. I was lazy. So, but what am I going to do? I'm going to be back at the gym, and I didn't go this morning is kind of the big thing. There was a deal there this morning at 6 o'clock I wanted to hit. I'm like, boy, I need to hit that on a Tuesday or Wednesday to make sure I can make it here on time. So I'll know that in the future, but
There you go.
I got to be ready for this, right?
That's right.
So, but you know, that's my little stumble. So what am I going to do with it? I'm going to start tomorrow morning. I'm going to get back on the gas and keep rolling.
There you
So
go.
that's my lesson number 2. Lesson from the races is it can all end faster than it starts.
That's right. And I like that. I like that. I see that a lot. To bring it to my world right now, I see a lot of people when at the parts counter in little situations, drama with a customer or whatever and stuff. The default is to go to the manager. Default is to, I can't handle this. I need to do this. The default should be, like you say, to be aggressive. The SEALs default in the SEALs, I'm reading that extreme ownership. The default is always be aggressive, be proactive, go after it, attack it, go after it right now. And I think that we should change that attitude. And I am working on that with training right now and stuff. So great lesson, Craig. I loved it. I
Thanks.
love it.
Thank
Can't
you.
wait for number 3 next week.
Number 3 next week. I think I'm up. I got a lot of them.
Oh,
It's going to be a
hey, keep
long
it
show.
coming. We need the content, so that's awesome and stuff. What do we got coming up next then? What are we gonna do next here?
So
We're,
we
we're
got
rolling.
it's 15 minutes in, so we're halfway through, and
Okay.
you had a video that you shared on your Facebook page last weekend. We touched on it a little bit, and I did watch it. I think I watched it a couple times.
Yeah.
So I actually had some notes on it. But you were gonna talk about that video,
Yeah.
and
Mr. Trolley was on Power Sports Business that we shared. Yeah, he's a marketing guy in our industry, and the content he brought up was basically we were talking about branding, marketing, advertising, the difference and stuff. I think it was Brian Kane had mentioned that. What did he write? I wrote.
not really sure what happened there, Joe,
Uh,
but we lost you.
Advert, yeah, my phone. I forgot to turn it off. Advertising is promoting, marketing is promoting your brand. And what he exactly said in that video is, I wrote notes. Brand is an expression of a belief. It's not a logo. It's not to do with any color or anything like that. Attach your brand to something they are already believing in. And he pointed out in the industry that the larger companies in that are trying to change their builds or their motorcycles or their rides for the millennials, the next generation, because they're not into it. They're more
Yep,
indoor people. This is an outdoor thing. But what they need to do is be like a brand that is got it going on. Their example is Apple. When you
yep,
bring up Apple and you ask Apple these days, people don't say fruit. They say great computer with no viruses, cool, innovative software, on and on and on. They don't,
yep.
Apple's taken that name. That is their brand. So they've got it. And what they need to do is, and what we need to do as shops, is we need to make our brand our shop. This is a little deep and it's a little bit more intense for your mom and pop shops, but you can bet that I'll be on my soapbox now doing that. The little shops, the mom and pop shops, they can brand themselves very easily in their marketplace. They've been doing it forever, and that family type deal is the way to deal. I remember I was trying to help the Wheel Shop has been around forever here in Phoenix, and that one day they brought out some posters from the 70s of the crew. Exact same setup, same thing. If you walked in the back shop, all the tables are the same. It's all built in, except they all got long hair. They got cigarettes hanging out of their mouth. They got the tattoos. I mean, it was cool. I'm like, this should be part of your branding.
Heck yeah.
I mean, this is genius. But it's a mom and pop shop, so you got, okay, who's going to take that job? Well, someone's got to take that job. Someone's got to step up, and someone's got to start branding the shop and using that, because how are you going to compete against the internet? And
Right.
now I'm going to get I might upset a few people here, but what can you do about the internet? I'm so up to here with hearing how the internet is killing a business. Quit concentrating on what you can't control.
Well, what's funny about his video, first off, if anybody has a link to part one of that video, I'd like to see it,
I
because
haven't
this is
found it
part
either.
two, and I've looked for part one and I can't
Yeah.
find it.
No, and
But
I got on
one,
Power Sports Business and it's not there either.
okay, one thing that we've all said as reps is, and it's, here in Brainerd, Minnesota, it's the same damn thing. The reason I'm going to buy it online is because you don't have it. So, and I'm
Right.
not talking about my local shop. My local shop's big. Has a huge parts department. They do a good job. Um, but shoes, for instance, I wanted a pair of running shoes. I know exactly what I want. I know the store that carries them is an hour away. I go to their sister store here and ask for them. I don't even care what color. I just know what I want, what model, and they're expensive running shoes. Yeah, our customers don't buy those here. And I looked at the sales lady and I said, you know why? Well, we just don't have that kind of customer. I said, you're looking right at one. I said, we don't buy them here because you don't have them.
Right.
So I go to St. Cloud and buy them from, it ends up like I've 3 years in a row now, I've gotten the same shoes from the same lady, which is
Wow.
awesome. And she's
Yeah.
like, we can ship them up there. I'm like, yeah, but you're not going to get your commission, and you're the one that sold me on these shoes. So
Right.
I would prefer stick, brick and mortar buildings. So one thing that he had said in that video that I thought was pretty important, and we've been saying that all along, right? If you have it in stock, they don't have to go online to buy it.
Right.
You can't get customer service from online. You can't talk to
No.
that guy. You can't say, hey, you can do the chat room stuff, but most of the time anymore, that's just some BS chat center somewhere, not even close to home,
Right.
of the shop or yourself. But one thing he had said is Amazon's now building brick and mortar stores.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah, exactly. And I love that because, yeah, you can do it at your store. You just need to come up with a way, have the stuff, or like we ran into at one of the shops I was with, make it worthwhile.
Right.
Make it
Right.
worth the customer coming back. And they will. And now they have a face to help them out with. If they have issues, they can just pop in or call you up on the phone. They know your name, and you get to know each other and you build relationships. So
There
I'd
you
like to
go.
see part one of his video.
I would too. And I know all the objections that are going to be thrown at me now after this week. This will probably be a really good episode because it touches on some things that people are a little religious about. I mean, they're getting religious about it. They're actually getting to the point to where that internet is the devil and we can't fight them, which is a wrong attitude.
Yeah.
I know you can't carry everything in your store. That I'm a rep. I know that you can't carry everything. You go broke if you did it. But if you find a focus on some products like footwear is tough in our industry. There's
Yeah.
I hear it all the time and stuff. But what you need to do is we need to advertise that we have those and then hit it and then train the staff. Okay, that customer service is where it at. And then you sell the quality and the value. You train the customer on the use of it, the fit and finish, the fitments on it, et cetera, after that training, and you can sell it. The
Yeah.
problem is that since pre 2008, when everything was going awesome,
Froze up on us again, Joe.
no longer got we're not we got a bunch of order takers, and we need to change that to salespeople. We need to bring that salespeople. I like to, when I'm doing my training, I always tell the parts guys they are the bartender, because everyone, even though you go to the bartender and your drink, a lot of people are down when they go to the bar, or they're there and you end up the bartender. No matter what, every single bar I've ever worked at, they end up giving advice.
Yep.
It's crazy. So the parts guys are the bartenders. They're going to be asked for advice. They're going to say, what do you have on your unit? What do you use? What seat cushion do you use? Well, I use Wild Ass. They're always getting that information or being asked that information, and they are that wealth of information because they work at the parts counter. And that's
Yep.
what we need to change. You need to use that now we know for a fact 6 out of 10 people who shop on the internet go into a brick and mortar store, and you have a shot to sell them. Even if you get 20%, that's a positive. What we need to do is make that 40%, 50%. We need to get that customer, show them that experience in the power sports store or whatever retail store.
Yep.
So that's basically what. Let's see if I got all my notes through there. Uh, I am going to be coming out. I decided after we talked this morning, I will be coming out with an article. It'll probably be on LinkedIn. Internet bullied the brick and mortar is what the title is going to be. I have no idea what I'm going to write with. I'll get it. Internet bullied the brick and mortar. So
Nice.
I will, yeah. So I'll post a link on that. And if anybody finds that first part one of that Power Sports interview with Mr. Jolly, please contact Craig and I and stuff. I would love to see that first interview. What else we got going on, Craig?
So we need to know who's watching this thing.
Okay.
So all I need you to do is drop a like down there and like this video and let us know. I mean, we've been asking for input. Evidently, that's too much work. So just like it. Just push the button, and then we'll know who we got maybe watching this show, where they're coming from, and get that off my screen. Then we can find out who's watching. So I can see some likes coming in already. I like that. So let's see what I did there. So yeah, hopefully you guys are getting some value out of this, and I would like everybody to share it, comment on it, let your friends know about it. If you have any life lessons that you want us to try to throw out there or attack, send them our way. We'd love to see what we can do. I've always said everything in life can be related to racing. So yeah. I would like that as a challenge.
I like it.
So
the gauntlet has been laid down here, folks. The gauntlet has been laid down.
And there's bunch of lessons left. And if I know that there's one I have to attack, that might be next week's lesson.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. And speaking of next week's lesson, I will be in the sales meetings for the pre-Tucker show, dealer show. What's going on, Craig? What are you going to do?
So next week, I'm going to have a guest on here, Brian Croft. I don't know if some of you guys know him. He was on one of our one of the first 5 episodes, I think. I actually stayed with Brian when I was in the Portland area, headed down to to Las Vegas for the AIM Expo in October. So yeah, it was one of the first 5 episodes he was on. We're in touch daily. And he's got something new that I am going to call him out on camera and make him accountable for a lifelong goal, or actually a goal he's had for a year anyways that I know of.
Ooh.
And he, we got him over the starting gate last week. So I'm looking forward to having him on the show, and we'll talk to him about that. So
thank you, Brian Croft, for stepping up there. Appreciate the help, partner.
Right. So yeah, next week we'll be at the Tucker show. For the whole week basically. I don't know what hotel's going to have the studio set up for us next Monday, but we'll be somewhere. We'll be set up.
That's right. So I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Brian Croft, special guest next week, and stay tuned. If you don't like Joseph D. Johnson, and what are you using for your contact? The Real Craig J, or?
They can contact me here, or I do share everything just so it's cataloged on the Real Craig J Facebook page.
Okay, great. Follow us both. We're going to be doing some live content, a lot of product stuff for you power sports nerds. New product that comes out, if they'll let us share it. We'll do everything that we can to get you the products. So all you guys that didn't make the show, I'm going to tease the shit out of you for not coming to the dealer show. That's right. Because we got some stuff coming. 16 new vendors. We set a record for vendors, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone, if we said we're looking at putting a record down for dealers visited. This is going to be a awesome show. And we'll try and, get you guys all the content we can.
It'll be a good time. So we'll look forward to seeing you next week, Joe, in person.
That's right.
Give us your words.
Attitude of gratitude every day.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Everybody watching, thank you. Thank you guys for sharing this and putting this out there. Be sure you like the video so we know who's watching. Go out there this week, kick some ass, and we'll see you next Monday.